You're listening to After the Review.
After the review.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed.
All right, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? We are your backyard bookies here for week 15. Joining me as always is my man Scott. Scott, pretty good week for you last week. Not great for me, but yeah, we're moving along here. We're moving along.
Yeah, at least I hit the lock again, so that's what I'm really proud of. Hitting those locks every week for the people out there. But it was a scary one though. I did pick the Army-Navy game. That was terrifying. First quarter, scoring 17. Like there's no shot in how this is gonna happen. And sure enough, the game slowed down a little bit and hit the under 39 or 39. I think is what it was. 38.
Yeah, 36.5 was the under.
Yeah.
You were very aggressive because you showed me it hit 15 straight years. And I said, oh, shit, it's due. One of these years it's due. And you were very angry when you covered with me. And I was like, if Army scored to win that game, you lose. They did not. For some reason, Army decided not to throw the football, which they could do all day against Navy, it looked like. I was very confused watching that game. I was annoyed as an Army bettor myself, just very disappointed in them. But
they were more than capable of throwing the ball, but I'm not really sure why they didn't, toss it maybe 10 more times.
I know, right? But they have to. It's Army Navy. They have to run the ball. But all right, so that won $58 last week. So positive gain. 1772 for the year. 10-3-1 on locks. Like I said, hit your lock, Army, Navy, under 36.5. Hit the pack, minus 12. Almost the worst beat of all time. Thank God for a rule change. Thank God you can't run back onside kicks, because we literally were losing that game.
I stopped watching that game. When you texted me, I had no idea what was happening. Then I heard the next day what happened. Like, oh,
yeah.
Okay, that would have been really bad.
Yeah, Green Bay literally dropped the onside kick, and it was still up in the air, but he ran back the onside kick for a touchdown, and they blew the whistle as he was like at the 5-yard line, and nobody was stopping him. So almost a disaster. Lost the Lions plus 10. We recorded prior to Demaryius Thomas passing away. That game stood no shot. That was Broncos
and
every
also
day.
Prior to half the Lions team having COVID. So
and being hurt. It was they blew their wad to get that win. But yeah, that game stood no shot with everything going on. Kansas City minus 9.5. They took care of business for you. Honestly, didn't play that good, it felt like. Especially Mahomes. Very average day for them. The Raiders just were bad. They gave up a defensive touchdown on the first play of the game, I think. It spiraled from there. So good game for Kansas City. Washington almost came back to hit your upset, but the Cowboys were just a little too much. That defense doing well. And then the parlay, Giannis and Trae Young let you down immensely. I did laugh at this, though, because if we had switched our parlays, because I had Middleton and you had a different Young bet, if we'd switched them, just combined them, we would have won.
yeah, but instead we
both.
I got my ass kicked. Giannis had like the best game
great.
of the season so far. So
He was great.
happened to be on the day I picked the under, but it is what it is.
And I thought you had the luck. Trae Young missed 2 floaters at the end of that game that would have easily put him over, layups essentially, and he couldn't hit a 3. He hit 2 threes on the day to make me lose. Absolutely pathetic. But yeah, but still had a good day. But good overall. All right. Me, on the other hand, lost 102. I've entered into the red. We're down to 995. 9-5 on locks. Not doing great. The Cardinals, my lock. Maybe Kyler Murray's worst game of his career, honestly. He was atrocious. Threw for 400 yards, or had 400 yards of total offense, but 2 picks, no touchdowns. Was bad. Took 2 bad sacks when they even had a chance to win that game. Just awful all around. Best scene from that game, though. Van Jefferson's dad is the wide receivers coach for the Cardinals, and Van Jefferson had a house call like 70 yards or whatever it was, and he is losing it on the sideline. He's like, you could just see him mouthing, I told them. How many times did I tell them? He's fast. Get back. And he's just like throwing the headset down, and it's like, man, that you got to feel a little proud, right? Even though it's against you, it's your boy who toasted you. So that one. Tough. Missed Army, minus 7.5. Missed the Lions as my upset. Hit the pack, minus 12. Under Jacksonville and Tennessee, 44. That one was, maybe that should have been my lock, because that one was as easy as could be.
I think Jacksonville's hit the over twice this year.
Hey,
Through 14 weeks.
I like them this week. They've gotten rid of the cancer in that locker room, which the stories that have come out on Urban Meyer are absolutely wild the last few days. So things could be going good for them moving forward. And like I said, missed my parlay. Chris Middleton did his job. Trae Young just couldn't make 3 threes, which is a terrible. But all right, so now we are moving into bowl week, and we're going to be changing things up a little bit. And we're going to be picking all these bowl games for everybody here. So we're going a little different. I'm going to explain to everybody, and then I'm going to let you open the floor for us. Picking all the bowl games, ATS against the spread, trying to pick them the week of. So we got 14 games, I think, this week, 15 games maybe. Something like that. And we're going to be wagering points. And basically 1 to 5 points, so confidence bet. 1 point, not very confident. 5 points, pretty much a lock. And we're going to tally this thing up, see who the winner is, and maybe we'll boost somebody's winning total or something if whoever comes up with the winner here. But let's get it started. First game on the docket is on Friday, I believe tomorrow when this comes out, Middle Tennessee State and Toledo. Scott, give me some massive insight on this game.
Yeah, I've got a lot of info from Middle Tennessee State and Toledo. No, I don't have anything. I haven't seen either team play. I'm looking at scores. It's pretty much the only thing I can even base any bet off of with anything going on here. But pretty much what I've come down to is looks like the last 5 games with Middle Tennessee State, they've hit back-to-back unders, but those are pretty low unders. And then Toledo's had 4 straight overs. Those are 57 points, 57.5, 54.5. Over-under's 50 now. It's down from 50.5. I had the over before, was at 50.5, so I'll just pick the over 50. I think they can. For some reason, I usually feel like the first bowl game, usually the favorite wins. Favorite usually covers for some reason the first bowl game. I don't know if that's some stat. Maybe I'm just making shit up. I don't know, but 50 points doesn't seem like too bad. They're going to be in the Bahamas. Maybe they had a few drinks the night before. I don't know. But, little vacation for the Blue Raiders and Rockets. But I'll take the over 50, and I'll wager 3 on that one.
Oh, a little confident, I guess. I thought you didn't know anything about this. Tough. Okay,
It's
Scott.
gambling. I'm just going to throw a 1 on there. Come on, Pete.
All right. No. Okay. So what I do have for you people, Toledo's won 4 out of 5. They've covered 4 out of 5. Only lost at Eastern Michigan in a 52-49 game. They scored some points. Middle Tennessee, just a floundering team, mediocre at best. Not really doing much. So Holy Toledo. I actually like Toledo. Like you said, favorite tends to cover that first bowl game. It's 10 points right now. I'm going to go with Toledo here. -10. I'm only going to risk 2 points because I don't want to get totally burned to start this thing off. But I think this is a good cover here. Middle Tennessee 6-6, Toledo 7-5. Toledo may be a little bit better than their record says. They had a tough schedule early on, but finished the conference record strong. Absolutely looking good. Next game, Northern Illinois and Coastal. A little bit more interesting game for us.
Yeah, so I did pick Coastal quite a bit during the season. They have pretty good quarterback, Grayson McCall. I'm not sure if he's going to play. I know he's going to go in the transfer portal, but I don't know if I'm pretty sure he's going to play. But if he doesn't play, that's a big knock on Coastal Carolina.
The line would suggest he's probably playing in this game.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. 10.5 for Coastal Carolina, but I think just really looking at it, I mean, 56% is betting Coastal Carolina. I think just because of those numbers, I'm gonna pick Northern Illinois plus 10.5. And I'll just wager 2 on that one. I don't feel great because Coastal Carolina is a good team. They showed it last year. They're showing it this year, 10-2. But I don't know, 10.5 points.
It's a big number.
A decent little spread there, so it could sure as hell happen. I mean, Coastal Carolina might win by 7 or something like that. So we'll see what happens.
So I'm gonna switch this game. I'm switching my pick. I said that this might be a game I'm switching. I made this pick. I read some stuff after this. Apparently, there's like a power strength index that they have based on wins, losses, how big, how lost against ranked teams. And this is one of the biggest differentials in bowl season. Coastal Carolina on the season is +4 in the differential for quality of wins and schedule. Northern Illinois is -15. So there's a big gap between these two teams. It says, even though 9-4 Northern Illinois, 10-2 Coastal Carolina. So I'm flipping. I'm flipping to Coastal Carolina. I had Northern Illinois. I'm going to take Coastal Carolina minus 10.5. Only going to risk 1 point on this one because I got no feel for this game. But yeah, I flipped it. Coastal Carolina's a better team. They did have 2 losses. They had some aspirations for a New Year's Six Bowl. Kind of got let down there. But, yeah, so I'm going to go with the Chanticleers to cover easily. I'm swallowing a lot of big points early. I don't know how I feel about this. Very nervous on this big game. Western Kentucky, App State, actually a very good game for kind of 2 smaller programs.
I think it actually might be Western Kentucky's been scoring like crazy. They played pretty well against UTSA twice, and even those games, I think
they made a big comeback on UTSA.
At least 30 in both of those games. They put up points over under 66.5. Last 5 with Western Kentucky 74.5, 75, 64, 62. So there's always going to be a big over under this with this team. App State can score as well. 66.5. I'll take the over. I think it's going to be a really good high scoring game. Maybe a little sloppy. They're in Florida, so they could, it's going to be good weather down there. So it's good offensive weather.
Or rain. Could be rain.
Or it could be rain. Yeah, who knows, but I'm actually going to bet 5 on this one. I feel really good about it.
Ooh, okay. I like this one. I actually love what Western Kentucky's been doing down the stretch. Like you said, App State finished strong. Did lose the conference championship game against UL Lafayette. Pretty comfortably there. Like 8 points, not so bad. Huge comeback from Western Kentucky. Almost pushed UTSA to the brink. They were getting hammered in this game. I think they were down 30 points, and they lost this game by 8. So, but yeah, like you said, been running away before that. Had won 5 in a row going into that conference championship game. Played them tight. I love what they're doing. Their offense is great. So I'm actually going to take Western Kentucky plus 3 here. They're getting 3 points. I think this is a huge steal. I'm going to wager 3 points on this one. Just because I don't know enough about these two teams. But like I said, just looking at Western Kentucky and what they do, they seem to be playing really good ball, covered all these spreads. Their only spread they lost was UTSA. They were a favorite in that game, which felt kind of weird, right, that they were favored over a one-loss UTSA team in the conference championship game. So, yeah, I like them on this one. What's our next game, Scott?
Got UTEP and Fresno State.
Ooh.
Playing in Albuquerque. I'm not sure which bowl game. I guess
it's the New Mexico Bowl.
New Mexico Bowl. Okay, the New Mexico Bowl.
I have beautiful graphics designed for all these bowl games to show the people. So yes, the New Mexico Bowl.
So UTEP is plus 11.5 against Fresno here. UTEP is actually not the UTEP of old. They've actually had a pretty good season so far. 7-5. I mean, they started to kind of crumble at the very end there, but they started off pretty strong. And they kind of started to crumble after they played UTSA. They played I mean, they've won one game of their last 5 against Florida Atlantic, UTSA, UNT, and UAB. And
they beat Rice. They beat Rice.
They beat Rice. Good for them. But you know what? I think 11.5 is a decent little spread. I think we'll take the 11.5. Take UTEP plus 11.5, and I'm gonna wager 4.
Ooh,
we're betting big here. We're going big or going home here, but I don't know how great I feel about it. But maybe shouldn't be betting 4 on this one.
That made me
great, but
you're spicing it up too early. I'm saving my big numbers for the real big boy games when I feel confident.
I could really show my hand here and really crumble early. We'll see what happens.
You're the college football guy, Scott. You gotta win. You're supposed to win this thing.
Yeah, I bet the games that I know well, not every single game. Betting every single game is a different kind of beast.
To be fair, pretty sure this was your idea to start.
Yeah.
Just so the people know. All right, I'm going the opposite direction of you. I'm betting 1 point on this game, and I'm going with Fresno State minus 11.5. It's such a big number. It's a little scary. Fresno State was ranked earlier this year. And again, talking about this metric I was looking at earlier, this stupid Yahoo article may screw me on this one, but they were the second biggest differential on this. I can't remember the number, but it was a pretty big differential. UTEP didn't play well. They got housed by some bad teams late, like you said. And Fresno State, got housed by Boise State late, but took care of business the rest of the way through. Obviously, lesser competition. Better quarterback play from Fresno State than UTEP. So I just got to go with the team with the better quarterback. I'm only going 1 point on this one. Minus 11.5 for Fresno State. All right, now I expect you to know this game. I expect the best insight for this game because we have your BYU Cougars and UAB. What are they? I don't even know. The Blazers of UAB playing. Break this one down in depth as much as you can, Scott.
Well, we know Jaron Hall is a decent quarterback. They've played really well. He was absent at the beginning of the year, but pretty much went crazy at the end of the year. 5 straight, at least 5 straight. I'm just looking at this action page here. Beating up on USC, beating the shit out of UVA a few weeks ago. Washington State. Is sort of a home game, sort of for UAB. It's in Shreveport. It's a little closer than up here in Utah, but I think as long as Jaron Hall doesn't, lollygag down the field, it's going to be. I think 7 points is going to be a very easy cover there. I know BYU has bigger aspirations than this bowl game, but hopefully they actually come out and have a little bit of
fight.
I mean, nobody wants to go to Shreveport, Alabama. Shreveport, Louisiana. Oh my God.
It might be better than Utah this time of the year. A lot of snow, you said.
It's snowing right now, but nobody wants to go to Shreveport and play a bowl game, but maybe they'll come out and fire. 7 points, I think, is plenty. BYU, I'll take 5 on that one as well. I feel pretty good.
So I was on UAB when I started this game, but then I did a little bit of reading. I was wondering, 7 points. All the experts are on UAB on this one. A lot of the big boy money professionals on the UAB spread. So I was like, is the quarterback playing? Like you said, he's been great of late. And no, they were just kind of let down. They didn't get this game. They were 1 ranking away from getting a New Year's Six bowl. Had a very good season. Slipped up a little bit too early there, but have been very strong down the stretch. They beat all the Pac-12 teams essentially. They played a pretty heavy Pac-12 schedule, and they beat them all, which is what you want to see for a team that's moving into the Big 12 next year. So I'm actually going to go with UAB. Not UAB. I'm going to go with BYU. They coaches said they were a little disappointed, but the last week of practice has been great, he said. They've been physical. They've been after it. They've been playing pissed off. That's what I love to hear. 7 points, small number to cover. Beat the shit out of UAB. Prove you belong in the Big 12. Prove you're ready to move forward, whatever it is you're doing, and that you deserve maybe to be playing in one of those New Year's Six bowls. So I like the Cougars here at -7 as well. I'm going to go 3 points on this one pretty strongly. Pretty heavy bet for me on these early games. But what's our next one? I believe it is Liberty. Right, is that right? The Liberty game? Yeah, Liberty and Eastern Michigan. Oof, this is a burner.
Yeah, we have one of the best quarterbacks allegedly in the draft. I'm not really totally.
He's a good quarterback. Let's just say that.
Malik's all right. He's not going to be. He'll be one of those first round picks that. He'll be probably a decent backup in the NFL. He won't be anything, outstanding. But just for college sake, he's a pretty good quarterback. He's getting 9.5. He's not getting 9.5. He's
given 9.
Given 9.5 in Mobile, down in Mobile, Alabama. More fun cities to play football in. For some reason, 58.5 is the over/under. Got 54% of the people betting on the under. Looking at here, Liberty's hit the under. 2 of the last 3 pushed once. Eastern Michigan's big on the under 2. Last 3 been on the under 63, 66.5, 62.5. For me, I think I'm gonna go ahead and take the under as well, 58.5. Actually, also do like Eastern Michigan to cover if that's a little
side action.
But I just have 2 on this one. They could easily get over 58.5, but I don't think Malik is that good, and I don't think he's gonna be able to score at least 30 points. I think it's gonna be more a 28-24 kind of game, or
who knows what
31. It'll be something like, it won't be over 58 though. I think the under will probably hit, and I'll wager 2.
Honestly, the weather, who knows what the weather looks like in Mobile, Alabama this time of the year. It's actually amazing watching some of these bowl games that are in the South, in quotation marks, and it's like 30 degrees and snowing in some of them. And it's like, I had no idea it gets this cold this time of the year. But yeah, I'm going to go with Liberty minus 9.5, only waging 1 point, strictly on the fact that they have Malik. I don't think Eastern Michigan is that good. Liberty had a pretty down year. They haven't been good late. They've lost 3 in a row. So maybe they need a pick-me-up. I don't know. I don't feel good about this game. Eastern Michigan could easily cover, but my gut tells me to bet with the better quarterback on this. He wants to go out with a bang. He wants to show out, boost his draft stock maybe, and nothing says boost your draft stock like showing out against Eastern Michigan. All right, next one. Now we're starting to get in some real bowl games here. Another expert game I expect from you. We have Utah State and Oregon State.
Well, looking at the recent schedule, it's really there's a big differential here. You know, like Utah State's, they beat the hell out of San Diego State.
Huge upset.
It was a big win.
Conference
beat up on
champs.
New Mexico.
Conference
Had a
champs.
bad loss against Wyoming. And a few other. You know, obviously they should win against, San Jose State, New Mexico State, but really looking at Oregon State, had a pretty decent game against Oregon, and then they had 2 decent wins, Arizona State, Stanford. I don't know, just looking back on how Utah State played in their championship game, I think 7.5 is way too much. And I think this is actually probably a money line game for me as well. I'd probably take Utah State money line, but I'll keep the 7.5 points and wager 3 on this one because I've already bet way too much. Don't want to expose myself too much here, but we'll bet 3 Utah State with the other Aggies winning that game.
All right, I'm going with the Beavers from Corvallis. Like you said, I like what they've been doing. They've had a pretty good 7-5 for Oregon State. For those of you who don't know, is a great season for them. This is a team that won like 2 games over a 3-year stretch. It felt like a few years back. I think Utah State's overhyped over here. They won their conference championship game in a big upset. This smells like a letdown. They won their conference championship game. They have all this hype and puff and pomp and circumstance. And I really like what Oregon State does. Had a pretty good game against Oregon. Obviously, Oregon not that great. Played the Pac-12 schedule. Beat Utah. I mean, they beat a Utah team at full strength that's been absolutely impressive to everybody. Probably kept Utah out of a playoff spot, on it, if we're being honest here, at least talking about a playoff spot, possibly. So I am going to go with the Beavers. They are not used to playing in bowl games. They don't get to win these games often. So they're going to come out. They're going to want to win this game big time. 7.5 points. The hook is the only thing making me sweat a little bit on this. So I'm going to wager 2 points on this one. If it was just 7, I'd be more comfortable at 4. So I love what the Beavers have done this season. Great season overall for a team that's usually not that good. I think Utah State's just bound for a letdown. You know, you win a huge upset, win your conference championship game. It's bound to happen. Next one. This one seems like a little bit of a mismatch here. UL Lafayette and Marshall.
Yeah, 5 points for Louisiana Lafayette. That doesn't make any sense to me at all.
Lost their coach.
But I'm not. Yeah, and I'm still. This is also sort of it's a home game. It's in New Orleans, but who's really showing up for that game? But last 5 games, Lafayette's played well. Beat App State, beat a good App State team. Beat up on Liberty with Malik. Marshall, I don't believe in Marshall here.
Are you not Marshall?
I think 5 points is plenty for Louisiana Lafayette to cover. I think, and I bet 4 on this one. So it's another pretty good confidence pick here. I don't know much about either team. I know Lafayette's 12-1.
They've won 12 straight. Lafayette 12 straight. Lost week one at Texas, and that's it. Have run the table since. Won the conference.
They are a good football team.
That's why Billy Napier got a head coach job at Florida. Won their conference championship game against App State. Another good team. Great minds, Scott. I'm on the Raging Cajuns with 5 points here. I'm gonna bet 4 as well. Really good game. There could be something we're missing here. Maybe there's some opt-outs, but I didn't see anything when I did a little looking, just because this number is a little sketchy. I don't get the 5. I The head coach leaving, maybe, but it's still the same players. I can't imagine much has changed for them. They're going to want to win this game. Marshall's not that good of a football team, 7-5 in an inferior conference. Not getting it done for anybody. So, yeah, Raging Cajuns are rocking, like you said, basically a home game. People will go, okay? It's an easy trip from Lafayette to New Orleans. Take a little trip, have a little fun. Nothing beats New Orleans anytime you can take a free trip there. All right, what's our next game on this?
We got the
Old Dominion
Myrtle Beach Bowl.
Oh,
Old Dominion in Tulsa.
Old Dominion in Tulsa. What do you got for us?
So for some reason, I was looking at this game and absolutely just loved Old Dominion. I'm not 100% sure why I loved them.
It's a big number.
They've covered the spread at least 5 of the last 5. Won the last 5, and then Tulsa's played well too. They've covered the last 4, and for some reason 8.5, I think is plenty of points to be able to cover. So I'll take Old Dominion 8.5 and bet 5. I'm not 100% sure why I love this game, but
the lock.
I did. When I was looking at it a few hours ago, I loved it, and I don't remember why I did, but sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So
again.
8.5.
Again, Scott, great minds here. Old Dominion plus 8.5. I'm only going to wager 3, but again, they spoke out to me. Also, looking at this game, both teams 6-6. Old Dominion, shit, they've won 5 in a row. They've covered 5 in a row. That speaks mountains to me. I know inferior conference. Tulsa maybe played. They played a better conference. They did almost beat Oklahoma to start the season. Played better teams, beat SMU last game of the season. So this could be a scheduling mismatch. Maybe Tulsa's a lot better than that 6-6 record says. But 8.5 points is a lot of points when it's 2 kind of mid-major bad teams going at it. So yeah, I love Old Dominion here. All right, Kent State and Wyoming. Now you've bet a Wyoming game this year, I believe.
I have. I think it was probably New Mexico.
Probably. I bet a Kent State game. I believe I bet them against Miami of Ohio. I bet an under earlier this year. What do you got?
So Wyoming's -3, over/under's 58.5 currently. Just looking at Wyoming here, they haven't had, at least in the last 5, an over/under more than just over 50, 52 in the game against Utah State, which did hit the over. They scored 44 in that one. They have hit the over for the last 5, but those have been pretty low unders, low overs.
Very low overs.
A lot of points. I'm liking the under 58.5 just because Wyoming usually plays a pretty pro style offense. Obviously they had Josh Allen, but they have a pretty pro style, like kind of deliberate offense. Kent State's not quite that way, but I think 58 is too much. It'll be sort of close. I feel like might not. I don't know. I don't know much about either one of these two teams either. But just looking at the numbers here, 58.5 looks like too much. So yeah, we'll take that, and we're gonna bet 1.
Bet 1. I like it.
Not 100% sure what's gonna happen here. I can't say I've watched too many Kent State or Wyoming games this year, so.
I'm with you. I know absolutely nothing about this game. Kent State +3. If I don't know anything about a game, I'm gonna take the points. I'm gonna bet 1. I'm gonna take 3 points here. Wyoming's not very good in a bad conference. Kent State's also not very good in another bad conference. So it seems like they could score some points. Can't necessarily play any defense, but they've scored 48, 41, 38, 30, and 52 the last 5 games. So that seems good for me. If they can score points, they should be able to keep this thing within 3 for them. All right, next one. This is a good game. 2 smaller schools, very good game. I'm interested in watching here. UTSA and San Diego State. 23-3 between these 2 squads records. So, who do you like in this one?
So this is kind of a battle against a pretty good offense at UTSA, and then pretty good defense and special teams, especially with San Diego State. They have the best punter in the entire country, just a field position, maniac. I think he's like averaging 55 yards a punt or something like that. So they can play the field position game really well.
All-American, their punter.
Yeah, over/under is 49. UTSA by 2. I think if I was betting the spread, I'd probably take San Diego State plus the 2.
Ooh.
Because I think they can stop UTSA's kind of high scoring offense, but 49 also just doesn't seem like enough. I think they can probably cover the 49. So I'm gonna take the over 49. I have 3 on this one. Not super confident just because it's offense versus good defense. It's gonna be kind of a battle. So I do think there'll at least be 7 touchdowns in the game. So we'll take the over.
All right, I'm going the opposite direction. I love me some Roadrunners. We're going to get rowdy here in UTSA. Won the conference championship, looking absolutely fly. Got back on the winning track. Great offense, like you said. San Diego State's got a very good defense. Their offense has completely struggled in games, become just totally ineffective. So if UTSA can just get a couple, points on the board, score a few touchdowns, I don't think San Diego State's going to move the ball at all. Bad offense. UTSA's defense can do enough to stop them. Only 2 points. I'm going to take the Roadrunners -2 here, and I'm going to wager 4. I'm pretty confident here about UTSA. They won their conference championship. They got the undefeated, off out of the way. They lost a game, so it's not that pressure that you normally have. And like you said, San Diego State didn't look great against Utah State in that conference championship game. Got absolutely housed by them. So, yeah, I'm going with the Roadrunners team that's playing good. Young team, still got their coach, signed to a long-term deal, didn't leave to any of these big schools. It's a program with a lot of momentum moving forward, I think. So a bowl win's going to just add right to it. All right, next game, Army, I believe the Cadets, Missouri and Army. Ooh, go Cadets.
Yeah, for me in this game, it's going to be Missouri against that triple option. I feel like there's teams that can stop it, and there's teams that have no idea how to stop it. They'll just crumble. I think Missouri is going to be one of those teams that just kind of crumbles, and they won't know how to stop it. They don't have the athletes to stop it. I mean, you need a little more athletic team to be able to stop all that, and really just a smart team to be able to stop.
They're one of the worst run defenses in the country, Missouri. So this is a beautiful pick. We watched A&M gash them, no problem.
Yeah, so we're taking Army -4. And we'll bet 3 on this one. Missouri, I don't see them stopping it. It's going to be a track meet, I feel like, for Army. So 57.5 even. I'll probably take the under on that just because I think Army will probably run the ball. Like, obviously they'll run the ball like crazy and they'll just milk the clock. But yeah, Army -4 I think is pretty damn good bet. Did I say 3 or 4?
You said Army -4, 3 points, I believe. Is
3,
what you
okay,
put.
I'll take 3 on that.
We have the exact same bet, right with you. Army -4, 3 points, exactly what my bet was. Like I said, Missouri, one of the worst run defenses in the country. Army, they're let down. They lost to Navy. That's the game that matters for them. But you can still win a bowl game. It's really nice to win a bowl game when you're a program like that. The triple option's way too much for team stop. I mean, Missouri's in the SEC, but Missouri can't stop the run. They're bad. They can score points, so maybe Army will have a little bit of trouble with that. It's honestly amazing to see an SEC team, a 4-point dog, against Army of all teams. This is not 1940 here. We are in 2021. So I'm going to go with the Cadets, -4 to win 3 points. Next game is the Frisco Classic. It's not even a bowl game. We got North Texas and Miami of Ohio.
So this is mostly just a numbers pick here. You got 71% of people on the mean green. But they've been hot though. Last 5 they've covered. Last 5 they've won. They beat UTSA. Miami, Ohio's not. I mean, they're not a bad team either, but 6-6. But I don't know, for some reason, just because UNT's been hot, it is sort of a home game for them in Frisco. I don't know. I like Miami, Ohio -3. There's some reason. I think there's a reason why they're favored for some reason. Everyone's picking UNT just because they see those last 5 and last couple of games against the spread, and then looking at the below line, you would expect UNT to be the favorite in this game, and they're not. So there must be something going on with Miami, Ohio. There must be something. Maybe there's a few people out for North Texas. I'm not sure, but I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me. -3 just seems like the play. I think UNT +3 is kind of the rat line there. I think most people are going to be picking that just because of the history in the last few games. So we'll take Miami, Ohio -3. and I'll wager 3 on that one as well.
All right. Well, Miami, both teams are 6-6. I think a lot of that is looking at the record. People don't necessarily know. Miami of Ohio lost by a grand total of 4 points. Their last two losses in the last 5 games. So they've been playing pretty good. North Texas, like you said, 5 in a row, 5 covering the spread. North Texas, the third best team in the country against the spread, behind Michigan and Oklahoma State. There's your fact for you right there. 6-6 ball club. They've won 6. I believe they've won. So they've won 5 in a row. 6 out of 7. This team started off terrible. They've been absolutely blistering hot. I love North Texas in this game. They're getting 3 points. They're at home, essentially, in Frisco. They're going to show out. The Mean Green have a great fan base. I don't care if it's a rat line. This team covers spreads, and getting points is even better for me. Third. I mean, that's just flat out impressive. If you're having a 500 year, but you're third best in the country against covering spreads, absolutely impressive. With Michigan and Oklahoma State, 2 really good teams. I'm taking the 3 points. I'm betting 5. This is my lock. I'm locking in North Texas right here. I'd be betting this game money line if we could take it. I could be falling into the trap here, but North Texas is on a roll. They're playing so much better ball, and they cover spreads. Covering spreads means everything when you're doing stuff like this. All right, our last game of the week. Last one. We're down to this one. Right before Christmas Eve, we have UCF and the Florida Gators, a battle of Florida. What do you got?
So the Battle of Florida in Florida. I don't think either one of these teams want to be here, especially Florida. 6-6 year, not very good. They've had a very marginal year. They haven't had the year that they want to. They are the 7-point favorites. 55.5 is the over under. Looking at the numbers here, 59% are taking the over, and it's pretty much right down the middle. UCF getting 51% on the spread. Don't know much about this one. I don't really think either team is that great. I also don't think 55.5 is going to get touched. It'll be I think it'd be sort of like that Florida State game where it's 20-17 kind of score. I think UCF does score some points, but I don't think they want to be here either. They even did put 17 against South Florida, 49 against UConn, which everyone does that, and then 28 against SMU. But besides that, nothing's really super impressive about either team. There'll be a struggle down in Florida. I think 55.5 is too much. We'll take the under 55.5, and I'll just take 2, just because a lot of unknown, and I wouldn't touch this game if it wasn't for doing this. I'd just watch it. So I'll just take 2 under 55.5.
I feel you. Thursday night, pre-Christmas Eve, out with the boys, probably. Hey, who knows what's going on there. Florida -7. They don't want to be here. I'm going to take the Gators because I'm hoping the Gators show up. Maybe, new head coach. They got a little rejuvenation here. Obviously not coaching this game, I can't imagine. UCF's quarterback transfer. They're missing their quarterback. So that's the only reason I'm taking Florida here. Nobody wants to be in this game, but I can't imagine why. I mean, it's the Gasparilla Bowl. I mean, lawnmowers unite over here. So I'm going to go out with a whimper, bet Florida -7 for 1 point. Not really feeling this game. Like you said, not touching it with a 10-foot pole, really. Good first week. I think a lot of games the next week, too. And then we're going to start getting into the big heavy hitters coming up here in a bit. So, yeah, what how you feeling about your pick? You liking this? You feeling them? Anything? Nothing?
Man, these first initial games are tough, man. It's just
it's a lot.
It's really none of those games I really even want to watch. I mean, there's a few of them that are decent. The San Diego State game, UTSA, that seems like a pretty good game. But really, looking at the rest of them,
it gives you something.
Maybe Army, Missouri. I'd be okay to watch it. I wouldn't be locked in watching it, but really, we'll see what happens. I mean, it's the first week. It'll get more exciting here after this week, but
it gives you something to do. Get away from the family, throw it on during the day. A lot of these games are on during the day too. During the week, most people are off of work, not really doing much, hanging out. And I know you're coming back, not going to be doing much. Just gives you something to put on TV, have it on during the day, check it out. Little extra skin in the game now for us, big time pick make us look good. It makes it interesting. Let's give us a rundown. You got a rundown of your picks. Let's give a rundown for the people here so they can try and keep track.
Middle Tennessee State, Toledo took the over 50.5. Northern Illinois plus 10.5 against Coastal. Western Kentucky and App State over 66.5. UTEP plus 11.5 versus Fresno. UAU minus 7 at UAB versus UAB. Liberty and Eastern Michigan under 58.5. Utah State plus 7.5 versus the Beavers. Louisiana Lafayette minus 5 against Marshall. Old Dominion plus 8.5 versus Tulsa. Wyoming Kent State under the 58.5. UTSA San Diego State over 49. Army minus 4 versus Mizzou. And Miami, Ohio minus 3 against North Texas. And then the Florida Bowl, Central Florida under 55.5. So fun games, I guess. It'll be on in the background for the most part, but it'll be a much more exciting week next week.
Oh yes, post Christmas. I mean, next week's gonna warm it up. Post Christmas is the week right there. You get your New Year's right up to the New Year's bowls. I will have the semifinals on, I think, before that Christmas game because that's New Year's Eve. So lots of good stuff there. All right, my list real quick: Toledo minus 10. I got Coastal Carolina minus 10.5. Western Kentucky plus 3. Fresno State minus 11.5. BYU minus 7. Liberty minus 9.5, Oregon State minus 7.5, UL Lafayette minus 5, Old Dominion plus 8.5, Kent State plus 3, UTSA minus 2, Army minus 4, UNT plus 3, and to round it out, the Florida Gators minus 7. All right. Fun week, should be fun. Keep tabs on this. I know things are going to pick this up. We're going to be doing this mainly for the next couple of weeks once we move into out of the bowl season, got the end of the NFL season. NFL playoffs, always great to bet, just fun to watch. That's the money show moving in. NBA starting to pick up, college basketball obviously picking up. And we might be getting some baseball futures here at any time. We got to get our MVP picks in, NL Cy Young winners. Again, if
we have a baseball season this year.
Oh, we'll have a season. They'll get it done. I ain't that worried about this lockout. But yeah, again, those of you listening, you can find us on YouTube. We got live video, see our beautiful faces, see the reactions live. It looks a lot better than it sounds. And after the review on YouTube, also do daily videos, content that's picking up. Got some new subscribers this past few days, so it's been a lot of fun. Going well, and we'll see y'all next week.